Good morning, guys. We are gonna go out to the garden this morning. It is really muggy here in Ohio, so there's no air movement at all. So it's gonna be humid, and that's just what we got here in the summer. We're actually gonna trim tomatoes this morning, so I'm gonna show you guys what I do, just some techniques that I use, and then get them kind of raised up off the ground so that the splatter from the rain doesn't come up and splash onto the plant as much. It is starting to drip a little bit. I don't know if it's coming from the amount of humidity or if it's supposed to rain, so I might get rained out, but I will show you guys just some things that I do on the big panels for indeterminants. So here we go. I actually got this cool little belt thing I'm really excited to use finally. So we're gonna go ahead and take our snips, put them in there. Gonna get used to it yet. Not sure where everything's gonna go, but yeah. And got my coffee. I'm gonna leave my water right there when I get back in, so I don't have as much in my hand. It's a beautiful morning though. Beautiful morning. Just super muggy. Pretty sure my ties are still down here. I'll show you guys what I use. Normally it's just like garden tape. It's green on a big spool. I feel like I get the most use out of that. Wow, everything is soaking wet. The bees are buzzing this morning. Oh, where'd it go? This borage, they're just loving it. Loving it. All right, let's get to this before it rains on me. All right, we gotta clean up these weeds this week too, but I'll just start over here. Actually, over there is my tape. Let's go over there. Okay, so this is what I use. It's just called garden tape, and it's just really thin plastic that I use to tie the tomatoes to the panels. Normally you can train them, which these are doing super well. So I'm not really concerned about having to tie a lot of them, but as they get heavier and set fruit, you do want to be really just attentive to them, because they can fall and it can break the plant, and then your fruit is useless. So we're just going to start here on the end, and I'm going to pull some of this off. Actually, what I could do, take this and tie it to my belt. Like that. These, like I said, are all indeterminate. So what that means, if you're new to the tomato, I'm gonna call it a lifestyle, because once you jump into tomatoes, I feel like you just get lost in it, and it is the best thing ever. But anyways, these are indeterminate, which means that they continue to grow, they continue to produce fruit all throughout the growing season. So they are the ones also that you get your big slicers and like really big, large, really cool tomatoes. So these are the ones that I'm trimming. I do not touch my determinants. So a determinant is, it sets its fruit mostly all at the same time. So then you have like your sauce tomatoes, your Romas, and different things like that are normally in that kind of a family. You can get both varieties in each one, but it just kind of depends on if you have space to let them grow up, then you'd want to do indeterminants. If you don't, then you'd want to maybe look at like a semi-determinate or a determinate. You can get a lot of varieties in both types, but for me, I prefer the indeterminants because I have the big panels that I can put them up on and train them on, and then the fruit is up and it's clean, and the plants just thrive better. So I'm gonna try a little bit something different. So previously I would always trim off all the sucker shoots. Well, since we're still like in June, I'm gonna leave the sucker shoots that are on now, and I'm gonna let those produce fruit. But in July, I will trim them off, because then I have like a really decent amount of flowers setting, which will be my fruit, versus just doing one leader stem, because some of these varieties are pretty like large size tomatoes. So you do want to make sure that you're giving them enough season to actually like finish ripening. So just be intentional about the amount of time that you have in your growing season. If you do have indeterminants and you have a shorter growing season, you might want to just stick to leaving the main stem and trimming off the sucker shoots. So what I mean by that is, let's see here. This guy right here is actually what I would call a sucker shoot. So when you're looking for this, like here's a good example. So here I have a main stem right here, and then here I have a large set of leaves. Right in like the armpit of that is what they call a sucker shoot. So this is gonna go up and it's gonna actually produce flowers. But what happens is, if you let your plant just continue to do this through the entire year, some of the fruit might not be ready, and your plant doesn't have enough time to actually finish producing or ripening its fruit, I should say. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave them, other than the ones that I really need to trim off that are just, you know, creating no airflow or stuff like that. But I really want to try and get good airflow to the bottom of my plants and kind of spread them out up like on this panel. So that's what I'm going to be working on, and I will show you guys kind of what I trim. So here we go. Okay, so like this one I took a pretty big branch off, but this one didn't have any flowers on it yet, and it's creating a lot of like blocked airflow. So I actually took this entire thing off of the tomato plant. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys here. So what I did, like at the bottom, you can now see the stems. So I really wanna try and clear this area and get this area to have good airflow. And then as you kind of travel up the plant, you're just gonna watch, like if you have a lot of crossing leaves, but you have to remember also, you do need a set of leaves underneath each growing set of flowers. So like here's a set of flowers right here. So you just follow that down and you want to make sure this leaf stays. And then here, like this would actually be considered a sucker shoot. I actually did end up tying this right here so that I can kind of train this tomato to go up the whole panel. And so this is actually a part of the tomato as well. So here, like this guy, I'm just going to pull it back onto this side. So then it kind of weaves itself up there. But that's your basic goal of tomato trimming. It's not that hard, honestly. Don't be scared of it. you can't really, just go slow. Like if you're new and you're learning, go slow and know what your goal is before you start, I guess, too. That helps a lot. So yeah, I'm just gonna work on getting these tomatoes trimmed and then working to basically do that. Clear the entire bottom of this row and then on the other side of the panel as well. So we did plant them diagonal. So I have one here and then the other one on the other side of the panel is there. So I just have to be really careful to have enough airflow to go up. And honestly, tomatoes want to grow, so they'll grow. I'm just trying to create the best scenario for them out here. So anyways, that's just a super simple how to trim tomatoes, how I'm going to do it this year. Honestly, there's no right or wrong reason. Just go with something you want to try and see how it works, and then make notes, and if you like it, do that again. If you want to try a little bit something different, do it to like 2 plants, or you don't have to do it to all of your tomatoes. If you have something that works and you really like that but you want to try something else, try it to 1 plant. 1 plant will still grow, and then you can see what the results are from it. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys, and I am so excited for tomato season. Cannot wait. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these things trimmed and train them a little bit more. Up on the panel, it is starting to sprinkle, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to do this today. So we finished 1 row, and look how much the bottom of this row is open. That's what we're going for. So that is an after shot. And then here, I haven't done anything to this row. So like super dense in the bottom. So yeah, we just gotta do this row and then this long row over here, which these are a little more behind these. So I'm gonna work on doing this row first over here, getting all of those up and off the ground, and then make them look like this. Oh, so good. All the weeds gone. Woohoo!
Should I show you how to open a pea?
Yeah.
So, first, you gotta put it right in the middle, not this side. This side. Put it right there. Open it. Look, it's just a little pea.
Aww.
That's how pea looks.
We gotta harvest them then.
And then you can eat them.
But anyways, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.